Friends, I have with me the head of content at Sarat Chandra IAS Academy, Mr. Ram Mathur. Today, me and Ram Mathur will discuss about how UPSC is focusing on current affairs, in what patterns questions are coming in UPSC prelims with respect to the current affairs, and based on that, how we at Sarat Chandra IAS Academy are releasing weekly current affairs exams, monthly exams, monthly prelims magazine, and daily current affairs quiz. Also, we will be focusing on what students preparing for prelims in the next 2 to 2.5 months have to read for current affairs. So Ram, mostly see, UPSC gives questions from various sources, but most of the students all prepare from the Hindu or Indian Express or PAB or maximum 1 or 2 sources. We never know whether UPSC gives only from these sources. However, in order to make questions, what sources are we generally taking for making the current affairs MCQs? What source are we following?
So mostly we are following this PIB. PIB is the main source which we are following, and then we have the Hindu and the Indian Express. So and we are following the Delhi edition, so that most of the students who are preparing for the exam are in Delhi as of now, and most of the information that the Delhi editions consist maintains a balance of topics. So we can take various topics from all over India and maintain the balance while we are preparing the questions. So we are taking the Hindu, the Indian Express and PIB as of now.
See, the advantage of that is that when we give questions from these sources, these are commonly available sources. Students spend their valuable time on these sources. So if we give questions from those sources, you will be able to revise or understand how much prepared you are. Second thing is that when he is talking about the balance, it is about the balance of subjects. For example, the current affairs related to geography, maybe map pointing, places, locations, regions. Similarly, current affairs related to economy, polity current affairs, environment, SNT. Generally, when we make this weekly current affairs, friends, we at Sarat Chandra IAS Academy have weekly current affairs exams. You can go to the website and see the exams also. Every Sunday we release 50 MCQs based on that 1 week of current affairs. And we have monthly current affairs exam. Every month we keep an exam as well as release a magazine. In our exam we give only hard questions, like a full prelims paper, monthly current affairs exam. Along with that, we release a monthly current affairs prelims magazine that will have 250 questions. And in all these things, even we have daily quiz, which you can write either from our Telegram channel or from our website. So in all these things, we ensure that we give the questions proportionately in all subjects. Yes. So how are you ensuring that we give questions from SNT, environment, polity, all aspects without missing anything?
So firstly, we have taken UPSC notification as a scale, so that in UPSC notification itself, we have all the syllabus subjects, like it was current events of national and international importance, and we have history of India and Indian and world geography, and that list was given by UPSC itself. So we are focusing on those parts particularly. So when we do not find one thing, one particular subject in a newspaper that day, because mostly when we see, we do not find much information about art and culture or history part. Yeah. So for that, we might go back to PIB, and in PIB, Ministry of Culture might have done some program at some place, or something might have happened regarding the tourism. There might be a temple. So we are ensuring that we go back to that topic. We are picking topics from the paper and topics from the PIB, and based on those topics we are preparing question, taking the basic aspects of that as well. So not just whatever happened on that day, just like a normal current affairs thing. We are also going back to the basics of that. We are taking information from various government websites itself. So we are not taking any newspaper or Wikipedia as a source, because we know that in Wikipedia one might easily change the information. So we are taking government websites as a source and try to develop questions on that basis.
Actually, this is what Ram is telling here. If you observe carefully, we give questions from, as we talked about the Hindu, Indian Express, PAB, we give questions. However, the explanation for the questions, I mean the key, the answer explanation, if you observe, in the answers, we cannot give the answer only from the newspaper from where we took the questions. We build up the answer using the sources from the government websites or any standard textbooks, because in the current affairs, some of our questions will be testing the underlying concepts. For example, there is a news on governor in the newspaper, but the question that we give will be testing your knowledge in the basic fundamentals of polity related to the governor, which you can get from Lakshmikant or from some other website. The reason behind giving lengthy explanations for every MCQ is because after you solve the MCQs, after test your current affairs knowledge, if you go through the explanation given by us for all MCQs, in a way you will be revising the entire syllabus, covering the entire syllabus. That is the idea. Also, see, we can directly give the current affairs question about the fact concepts, or we can go behind that current affairs topic and test underlying concepts.
Yes.
But that underlying concept, will it not become a static part? Can we still consider current affairs only according to you?
Yes, sir. But when we see the UPSC latest pattern, what UPSC is doing, it's not just giving questions based on the static itself. They're going whatever has happened that year, and they're picking topics very randomly. Like we are trying to emulate the same, sir. So we are trying to emulate the attitude of UPSC. We are just going through the newspapers, we are just going through the PIB and all, and we are just picking the topics. So there is a chance that UPSC might think that this is a peculiar topic on which we can make a question. So in the same lines, we are keeping an open mind while taking the questions, and we are randomly picking questions like while we are maintaining the balance itself. So we are taking questions from different subjects and we are trying to develop that. So in this sense, the static is becoming important in UPSC as of now. They're just taking the concept that has happened in the news and they're going back to the basics of the topics. So we are also trying to emulate the same for the students, so that the pattern of the exams, pattern of the question that we are giving now is similar to the UPSC pattern.
Yes, yes. See, coming to this pattern, before the pattern, one more thing. These days, from 2019-20 onwards in UPSC, whatever news is mostly hitting the newspapers, the major news, from there questions are not coming in the prelims. Only the minor news, which might not be in the news for a long time, which most of the current affairs magazines might not have really covered. Current affairs magazines definitely cannot cover everything in newspaper. They'll be skipping some parts. Such peripheral topics, which UPSC thinks as important, but national media does not or may not think it is as important for general public, but for UPSC as well is important. Such kind of news UPSC Prelims is asking mostly.
Yes.
So that's what we are focusing. Your team is actually coming out with such kind of questions.
Yes.
You can observe, for example, if you observe, you can go through website or Telegram channel, see last few months of the current affairs prelims questions that we have given, either as daily quiz or weekly exam, monthly exam or monthly magazine. You observe that some of the questions are not really covered by most of the current affairs magazines, but they are important from the UPSC point of view. Now keeping it aside, come to the pattern now. The question patterns of UPSC prelims has been changing, but the fundamentals are same. UPSC wants always to test the fundamentals, basic knowledge that you need. However, the way they're asking question is changing because students, because of solving more question papers, more test series, are able to guess the answers. In order to break their guessing, UPSC is coming up with a new pattern of questions. So now, if you observe the overall question paper, 23 or 22 question papers, tell me 5-6 varieties of questions which UPSC is asking, the pattern of questions, and we are actually emulating the same thing in our current affairs MCQs that we are making. We are using the same pattern. So can you please
Yes,
describe the patterns,
so
styles?
Mostly like in the UPSC 2023 paper itself, there was a kind of question like that was changed from normal elimination type to the pair based. So in the same way we have gone through all the paper and we have divided the number of questions on which UPSC is giving. So UPSC is giving a 2-statement question where the options will be only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. And we have a type of question which is an assertion reasoning type, which we call a statement based question. They are giving 2 statements and they are asking whether the statement 1 or 2 is explaining the other statement. So this we call the statement based questions, and the elimination method was mostly taken away and that was given as a pair based question. So like how many of the statements are correct and how many of the statements are incorrect. And we also have this what do we call in the statement based itself, in the number of incorrect and correct, they're giving statements for 3 statements and some are 4 statements, and then we have some questions in which they are giving 6 to 7 options which we call the multiple terms. Like if we take GST, how many of the above below goods belong to the 0% bracket or something. So in these types, we also have this multiple terms question, and then there is a map based question. So map based questions are becoming important. Whatever is happening around the world, UPSC is focusing on the issues of the world. So the map based questions around those places are becoming important. So these are the type of,
and chronology also, chronology.
Yes, so mostly the chronology and the direction based, and at which direction is it going, or from the north to south, arrangement from the north to south, the south to north, and east to west, and all regarding the geography. And also sometimes the chronology becomes important even to answer the main questions, because we have to understand the flow of the topic, so that student can eliminate even if there are the statement based questions. So some or two statements can be eliminated out of that.
Yes. So what is happening is UPSC is testing the same concepts, but in different way. They're coming with new types of questions. Like how Ramathur said, there are 5-6 varieties of questions, the way in which UPSC tests. So our team actually has done continuous research on UPSC prelims papers, wherein we understood the pattern of questions, so that in our prelims question papers also, may it be our monthly current affairs test series, or weekly current affairs exams, or daily quiz. Even as I told you, we release monthly current affairs prelims magazine, where we give 250 questions. In all these things, we use the same combination. 30% of our questions are, pair based, assertion reasoning. 30% are 2 of them are right, 3 of them are right, 4 of them are right, and 20% are pure facts. 10% is a combination of static and dynamic. So we use the same proportion while making the questions, so that students who solve our questions will actually get that mindset for UPSC, and they feel UPSC prelims paper as somewhat easier compared to before, because of understanding their mindset and pattern of the examination. Now, see Ram, according to you, daily quiz many students cannot do. Daily quiz they cannot do, and weekly or monthly they will be able to do.
Yes.
Do you suggest students who read the current affairs magazines of whatever institute, okay, to take up more number of current affairs test series, or is it enough if they take one current affairs test series?
So it's like a daily war-like thing in UPSC. Like we have to prepare every day. We have to be prepared for the exam on day in and day out. So why we are focusing more on current affairs is that many of the students will go through the newspaper every day, and they have to for the examination. So if they go through the newspaper, they have to go through the newspaper, and if they this initiative is just for the practice. So on a daily basis, students will go through the paper and they'll just practice our questions. And there are chances that many of the persons preparing for the aspirants preparing for the exam might not be preparing full time. They might be working somewhere. So they'll have time only in the weekends. So at that time, they'll consolidate their current affairs, and they'll try to attempt that in the weekly basis. And there are some people who are completely busy with static part, preparing for the static, different plans. So like many have different plans. So for them, the monthly will be helpful. Other than this, having a daily test, having a weekly test, and having this monthly test with the same set of questions is like making them practice it, making them revise the questions again, because on this day they'll prepare the question, and by the end of the week they might not remember that. But if they revise it again at the end of the week, that will be one revision, and at the end of the month, if they go through the same questions or something, so they'll revise the entire month itself. So in that itself, in current affairs, they can complete at least 1 or 2 revisions, which is important for the exam, because revision makes most important step in our preparation.
Yes, got it. See friends, in the same way, not only current affairs, static part also, all subjects for prelims, polity, history, geography, economy, environment, SNT, IR, along with current affairs. We have UPSC prelims test series also going on parallelly with the same team, who are making questions in similar pattern. Also, we have a monthly current affairs mains magazine, wherein we release 50 mains question and answers purely based on the current affairs of that month. Just like prelims 250 questions, we have mains 50 questions. Also, we have daily UPSC mains answer writing practice, wherein student can write 4 answers every day and we evaluate. We call this program as UWP, UPSC Write Pulse. Along with the mains test series, we have this program also. So you can subscribe to any of these programs and you can make your preparation stronger. So all the best. You can visit in description. In description we have kept the links for various programs. You can go through them.